I knew that I could create a feeling, a sentiment, an opportunity, an experience that would change the game for my business and that would incrementally and exponentially change the trajectory of my business, my brand, and my career. We can always look at those shiny opportunities, even the ones that maybe we can't tap into ourselves, and we can learn from them. There's always something to learn there. And so the case study that I'm going to share with you is one that I created and cost me nothing, zero. And it's something that I created actually at Digital Undivided, where I am a first-time ever nonprofit CEO. I've never run a nonprofit before. And when I came into the organization, let me take you to the problem slide, just so that you understand. Whenever we're doing case studies, whenever we're looking even at where we want to go in the future with marketing, we're identifying a problem, right? Or an opportunity. In this case, there was a problem. I had a big problem with what I was seeing out in the world. And it's representative of what you see here on the screen. Let's look at one here. Yes, women of color are underfunded. Yes, it's bad for the economy, but now it's time to do something about it. Who saw these headlines about 2 years ago? Show of hands, who saw some of these headlines? Really? One more time. Show of hands, how many people saw these headlines? It's okay, I know y'all read the news, it's okay. I had a problem with this. I had come in June 1st of 2020. I transitioned from chairing our board of directors at Digital Undivided to being appointed CEO, first time ever nonprofit leader, and I knew I had to put on my marketing hat first. I knew that in order for us to see change for women of color, the women that we serve at Digital Undivided, that we were going to have to shift, not just the narrative, but we were going to have to immediately shift and change the public perception and assumptions that exist about who women of color are and what we can accomplish. And so when I put on my marketing hat, I had so many people say, I don't know if that's gonna work for a nonprofit. Why are you, Lauren, being the one to lead the charge in this particular conversation? Why are you, Lauren, knocking on the doors of media companies to change the perception? And I said, with great confidence, just watch. This is the power of marketing. An innovative solution that cost me nothing other than my time, my dedication, my persistence, my diligence, my ideas. But on a financial snapshot, this was a partnership that I thought long and hard about who I wanted to partner with, why I wanted to partner with them, what was in it for them, what was in it for us, if we were aligned in our mission, if we were in sync on the issue, and feeling as though the issue was as big and as bad as I felt it was. And most importantly, if we had synergy in creating a compelling story that would be better if we did it together than if either one of us would have done it alone. And I intentionally went to Cosmo. Here to the sides of me on the screens, you see Venus Williams. My immediate first call when I said we've got to shift the perception of women of color with an innovation in technology was to a dear friend and colleague, Nancy Berger at Hearst. And I said, I would really love for you to join me in creating the new C-suite. And immediately, Nancy says, yes, we are doing this together. It is ours. And I'm proud to say that Digital Undivided and Cosmo Magazine are now in year 2 of a recognition list called The New C-Suite that has completely changed the game for women of color entrepreneurs. There has never before, thank you, but y'all haven't even seen the results yet. Okay, let me talk about the results. So I intentionally went to Nancy Berger, not just because she's my friend, not just because she's smart, not just because she's great, not just because of any of those things, but because if we go back to earlier in my presentation, all these industries I've worked in, that connective tissue I was talking about was going to allow Lauren, the new nonprofit leader, to change the game by stepping over here into that media entertainment tech bucket and tapping on my network to say, let's change the game together. Now, what did we do? I said, every time we look up, whether it's Forbes 30 under 30, Fortune 40 under 40, Fast Company's most innovative, most creative, these lists change the game. You all know this, right? Yes? Oh, okay. Because you see when folks get on that list, not only is it on social, not only is it in a press release, not only it is in marketing materials, not only do they put it up on their website, not only do they put badges in their email signatures and in their decks, but doors open for them and their business and their brands that have never before been available to them because narrative change, because of brand awareness, because of the ability to shift perception in powerful ways. And once you do that, don't you know the floodgates open for opportunity? Now watch. So, for the first time ever, Cosmopolitan magazine spotlit female entrepreneurs of color in the magazine. This was our very first year that you see on the screens, and it was then written up in Ad Age and several other platforms as the top nonprofit partnership to change the game and visibility and public perception. Hands down. We were able to honor these incredible founders, businesses that we put on radars of national, multi-million dollar, multi-billion dollar corporations, whether that's for supplier diversity opportunities, whether that was founders on this list who, were in a test in some of the country's greatest retail outlets that all of a sudden got picked up for national distribution because they had had national coverage in Cosmopolitan magazine. Now, not only, and I'm going to go back for a second, not only did Venus serve as the cover of that issue, she joined us as a judge on our judging panel, as an entrepreneur in her own right as well. So these founders were given visibility also to myself, the judging panel, which included executives from Cosmopolitan, and Venus Williams. So even if you didn't win, you were seen.